Hello, everyone.
Hey now.
Every time I put that one on, I stop to read the last panel because it's
I
really
know.
cool.
Yeah, I was doing that too.
It's
I,
always
I'm
fun.
glad, I'm glad
I,
Don Draper gets to watch that Moon Knight show with the Punisher in it.
That
I
would be
missed that.
awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll get it too.
Who who should John Hamm play in the MCU? Starting off with a big question.
Oh
Wow.
man. Well, we already have a Wonder Man, but I think he would have been a good Wonder Man.
Yes, I do like that pick. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
I mean, I'm tempted to say Reed, but
Mm,
I don't know. Like, he would need a counter personality for Sue, Ben, and Johnny that would have to
oh,
match his charisma on screen.
what about Doctor Doom?
Oh
Fuck yeah.
shit!
Because I know
Damn,
he's
that's
very likable, and I think that's what's appealing to me for him playing Doom.
yeah,
Because Victor Von Doom overall is a very charismatic individual.
yeah.
Now, I would hate to put that handsome man behind the mask for you know the rest of his life. Uh, but
They could pull a an Iron Man like Jarvis situation where you just always see him in the mask. You
but
know.
then I
Yeah.
also
I know
okay.
exactly.
Here's a follow up question for the comics stuff. Do you guys like the version of Doom where he is actually like scarred in his face, or the version in the comics that sometimes he has like a very small scar, but he thinks he's fully disfigured? Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, the small scar.
a small scar.
Like where
Yeah,
it's all more like in his head. That
yeah, exactly. It's like
Yes.
it's that one imperfection that he
yeah.
can't get past. Yeah, totally small scar because
Okay.
it fits better with the conceit of the character. You know.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things I feel like the first Fantastic Four, not the first Fantastic Four movie, the one from the early 2000s. I feel like they got that part right and the
Yeah.
character, like how
Yep.
vain he was, and like
Well, the best thing about that was the casting was the same guy who does Nip Tuck.
Right. Yeah.
So like the level of character of like that vain type of person playing Doom was perfect.
yeah, he could have fixed it himself. His other character would have fixed it for him.
What bums me out is the Doom we got in the second, or not the sequel, but the Van
reboot.
Vorstick,
Yeah.
because that dude was, oh my god, the guy I'm a big fan of.
Toby Kebbell,
Yes, love that dude, and
I like him. I like him a
and
lot.
the Doom in that looked cool, but everything else sucked. I mean, like everything.
He
Ev-
looked,
Everything in that movie sucked.
he didn't look cool in the last sequence. I know a lot
Yeah.
of people called it like garbage bag Doom
Yeah.
because it kind of looked like that, but I don't know. Maybe one day we'll get a better looking Doom.
Okay, my casting for John Hamm is Flatman from the Great Lakes Avengers.
Ah,
Because I
Right.
kind of love the idea of like his character from like 30 Rock being
Yeah.
like this kind of handsome dude who's just
Yeah.
really bad at stuff. And
Yeah.
Flatman and the Great Lakes Avengers would be great for his comedy.
that would be really awesome. Like I was kind of thinking like really out there, like not as a superhero character, but what if we ended up with a human Jarvis and it's him? Right?
Oh man.
Like he's just like the butler at the Avengers.
Well, we have a
Mansion.
human Jarvis.
In the MCU?
Yeah, but it's with
Oh, it
Tony's
was in
dad. It was
Yes,
in
that's
Agent
right. Okay,
Carter.
yeah, that was in Agent Carter. I guess another human Jarvis. So,
Well, I still feel like because I really am buzzing off of Jason Aaron's Avengers Forever run. Like I love the multiverse and love different ideas. So, I mean, starting off a series with John Hamm and not casting him as anyone and telling him it would just be kind of cool if he just showed up and then the Iron Man mask opened and he was Iron Man and we're in a totally different Earth.
that would be cool.
You know,
You know what else? If we are doing multiverse stuff, like if John Hamm showed up as Nick Fury,
oh wow.
Ooh, wow, yeah.
like old school. I guess Nick Fury Senior in the I think The one that looks like Sam Jackson is now Junior. There's some weird. They did try to explain it away.
Yeah, I saw that as well. They did try and explain, but because there's a new Nick Fury series coming out, and it's like the different generations. Is it Al Ewing? This stuff's always Al Ewing.
Yeah, it sounds like Al Ewing or Cy Spurrier.
Al Ewing is doing all the 60-year celebrations for a lot of these characters.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Because he did the Wasp, he did the Ant-Man stuff. He didn't do. Donny Cates did Thor and Hulk with that crossover. That would be cool. I mean, yeah. Oh, John Hamm is just like a different character in every multiverse thing that he shows up in.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Shit.
The man's got range.
I mean, because he was great in Good Omens, and he's just this very kind of minor, angel. But every time he shows up, he's just incredible. So
yeah, like you give him a good monologue, and he will dominate that shit.
Yeah.
I still think about the carousel monologue that he does at the beginning of Mad Men. I'm assuming y'all have watched Mad Men.
no,
I've only
but-
watched season 1.
Oh, well, it's in season 1.
Okay.
Like they're selling Kodak, so they've got the spindle with the carousel of photos, and he's just talking over it. Like he just goes in blind, shows these pictures, and as he's talking, he makes one of his own people come to tears and have to leave the room. Like that's how good he pitches Kodak to.
Yeah. I like Mad Men, but
You're muted.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay.
I like Mad Men, but it was really intense when I was watching it. Like that first season, there's a lot, and at that point, I was like, "No, I don't think so." I think Breaking Bad brought me into like where I can enjoy more of that type of show. So maybe I should go back and watch it.
I've always meant to watch it. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it. It's probably the most interesting character is Betty Draper in the whole thing. Just watching like his wife go through the 60s, 70s, and I just remember one of the early scenes to really show that it's that time period is her driving through town. Her kids are not seatbelted in, and they're just jumping in the front and back. And she has a car wreck, and it's just
Oh
like,
my
holy
God.
shit, holy shit.
Hey, my grandpa used to have like a station wagon like that where the front seat was like a bench seat.
That's
Yeah.
what our first car was like.
So
That's
like
the first car I drove had a bench seat.
Yeah,
It was all
same.
vinyl.
when we were in the car, like we would just be hanging out in the front. Like we would all be in the front, like when
Yeah.
we were driving around with him and stuff. Or, so that was there was definitely wild times back then for sure.
Yeah,
Just
that's what I
anything
love
goes.
watching about Mad Men is like there's obviously a separation between the men and the women in the office place.
Yeah.
Like if you're a woman, you work in the secretary pool. That's it.
Or
You know,
the what do you call it, telephone thing or whatever.
The what?
Then they have like a telephone room. Is that what? Oh, maybe that's the secretary pool.
Yeah, that's secretary pool because
'Cause
that's where all the typing is because it's
'cause-
so
yeah,
loud.
yeah.
And so all the men have offices outside of that or next to it.
Yeah.
And
Because Flo from the Progressive Ads is one of the receptionists in that show.
yeah, and then they had switchboard operators, which my grandmother was a switchboard operator back in the day that would direct your calls within the building.
All right,
But
let
she
me-
worked for Southwestern Bell, which doesn't exist anymore, which is AT&T now.
Josh, I was about to give you a solo because I thought you were doing some MacGyver shit over there.
No, I have to turn a fan on. I'm hot.
Okay.
Man, Ma Bell. I miss Ma Bell. Sorry,
Yeah.
I completely derailed us right off the bat.
That's
I
okay.
apologize.
It's a good start. I think.
No. But you could also go in a different direction. What would be kind of neat is what if John Hamm just voiced a character? Because like we had Bradley Cooper and all he did was voice Rocket.
Yeah.
What if John Hamm is the voice of Tippy Toes?
Tippy Toes.
I mean, Tippy Toes and Squirrel Girl, and it's John Hamm.
Oh, okay. Sorry. When you said Tippy Toes, the only thing I could think of was Gary Oldman
Oh, that movie.
Oh,
in the role of a lifetime.
wait. I've got it. John Hamm is Beta Ray Bill.
Oh,
Like he's doing the voice of Beta Ray Bill.
He probably did the motion capture too. I like that. That's
I do
really
like
good.
that. I
Yeah,
do like
that would, you know.
That's great. 'Cause
All right, Marvel. If you do that, I just want a little bit of residuals. That's it. Just
Well, get in line.
1%.
Get in line behind the writers.
Yeah, right.
And
Exactly.
and very soon coming up, probably the actors.
Yeah, they're gonna strike in solidarity, right?
I think. Well, they're voting on it right now. SAG-AFTRA is
Yeah.
voting on what to do. So, but here in this show, we support the writers. So,
Oh,
Hell yeah.
absolutely.
I saw one of my favorite strike signs. Shelby caught it in the picket line. It had a picture of Lucille Bluth, and it says, "What does a writer cost, Michael? $10."
here's $10. Go see a Star
love it.
Wars.
I
That's
love
I'm
it.
gonna go see a Star Wars.
That's
Go see
some of my
Star
favorite.
I know. I mean, there's no way AI could write comedy as great as the first 3 seasons of Arrested Development.
No, and what's ironic is the better AI gets, the less absurdity it will generate. So early AI,
Right.
you could imagine, would be producing like totally absurd, weird, random shit that may come off as funny. But as it gets better, it won't, because it's aiming for logic. So
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't.
It-
And that absurdist stuff is like really hard to pull off.
yeah, very. It either works or it doesn't. I totally agree.
It's like I saw a meme that said what was it? Dolly Parton could write the Communist Manifesto, but Karl Marx could have never been like 9 to 5 or something like that.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
I want to hear Karl Marx's version of 9 to 5, though.
But could he do the clickety clack with the nails too in the movie? I don't think so.
Now I hear the beginning of 9 to 5 starting in my head with don't.
Don't play too much; we'll get copyright.
Oh, I got an earworm in my head.
All right. Well, now that we're 13 minutes into the stream, let me tell you what we're going to be talking about today. The Eisner nominations came out for 2023. So on our main topic, when we get there, we'll touch on. We'll look through the list, talk about some of the things we read, maybe pick some things to read in the next few weeks as we head into Comic-Con for the awards. For those that don't know, the Eisners is like one of the biggest awards in comics, like kind of like the Oscars. There's others, like there's the Ringo Awards, and there's like more independent stuff too. But those are the big ones at San Diego Comic-Con. But before that, let's talk about some of the stuff. We got a bunch of stuff to catch up on. Josh has it in a couple weeks, and we definitely want to talk about some stuff. We need him to go see Guardians, I think.
I do.
Yes.
I do. It's that weird period of time where I'm done with my semester, but Hazel isn't. And so I'm kind of waiting for her to get done so we have more time in our day to go see it. So
this could have been one of those formative moments in a youth's memory where a dad takes you out of school to go watch Guardians in the middle of the day.
Right.
But you missed out, Josh.
No, I suck.
You're too responsible.
I believe in education beyond MCU movies. So
this is a different type of education.
It is. No, I agree.
DCEU movies.
Ew, no.
He's
just staying quiet.
I want to teach that course.
You should. You should teach that course. That'd be amazing.
Oh shit! Now I want to see your syllabus.
Yeah, exactly.
Intro to Zack Snyder. We start the first. There's gonna be a lot of Zack Snyder. I tell you this.
So is your final just on Watchmen?
Yeah. We're just gonna break down the Hallelujah scene.
Oh no.
Great.
No.
Yeah, Josh is dying.
You just killed me. I was like mid cough when you said that. I started laughing.
I'm sorry.
Apologies to anyone watching. I have either like really bad allergies or a cold, and I'm
he's been taken over by a demon. We don't know.
Or that, yeah. Well, like it's the opposite of that Futurama where Fry eats that gas station egg salad sandwich, and then the worms make him better. My worms are not making me better. So,
Well, you should stop eating egg salad sandwiches from the gas station.
Right,
It's
exactly.
just,
Yeah,
it's too hot
get the
already, Josh.
sushi.
You can't risk it. It's too warm out there now.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
The weather's turned on us already.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
all right, let's get started. I want to talk about a few movies that I've seen recently.
Yes, I'm excited to hear about your thoughts and opinions on Fast X with no spoilers.
So I mean, if you really want to go dive deep, I did do a non-spoiler review for our watchers and listeners. But man, I love the film. It was
Really?
more of what I wanted, and it was stuff I didn't even know I want in the franchise. Now I don't know if you guys heard, there aren't originally the plan was to do two movies to close out the trilogy. We're now getting three, so be mindful of that going into this film. But yeah, it's I mean this is their Infinity War Endgame. You know,
Does Dom say that? We're in the end game now.
I wish.
Family.
I think yeah. I I think I
Fast
like
and
that
the
Josh
Furious
doesn't even
12,
watch the movies, but he
hashtag
knows.
family, hashtag.
Yeah. I think Momoa had one of my favorite performances. He really just goes for it, and it's
Is
really
he
fun.
better in this than he is as Aquaman?
Yes.
Wow.
Nice. All right. That's impressive.
I think he makes the character his own, and you can see a lot of influences that I won't get too much into it, but it's really well done. It's really well done. And of course, I mean, this cast is like 20 people deep now as of the 10th film. So
How many in credit scenes?
there's one end credit scene, but it's
Okay.
pivotal to the continuance.
I
More
heard they're
important than
bringing a character back.
more important than any MCU end credit scene you've ever seen. So now
You
maybe
mean
not, but
even when we met Thanos for the first time?
maybe it's on that level. So, but yeah, good stuff. It's really good. Go check it out as soon as you can, if you can.
I mean, can you go back to that moment when Thanos shows up on screen? He goes, "Well, I guess I'll have to do this myself," and he puts on the gauntlet and leaves. I mean,
well, I think the funniest part about that one is that it was kind of retconned out, right?
yeah,
That's hilarious. Like when the what's her name, Hella retcons that by saying a fake that she takes the gauntlet.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because that
well,
was
plus you have to place when he actually has the
Idri-
dwarf
Id-
build it.
yeah. So, but yeah, go check it out. Really fun, really good stuff. Like I said, if you want
Eitri, I couldn't remember his name.
If you want more thoughts, like I said, we have a review in the channel. I just this morning before we got into this, I shot a video of the 5 biggest surprises, but that one does have spoilers. So go watch that one after you've seen the movie, unless you don't care about spoilers. Which, what a madman! What a dangerous world you live in.
Can you imagine?
That's Kyle, though. That's Kyle. Kyle lives on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Do you want me, having never seen a single Fast and Furious movie, to go watch that video? No, I have no context. I have no experience, and I just go watch the 5 biggest surprises in Fast and Furious 10 Part 1.
I think that'd be funny, but I don't know that it would mean much without at
Oh
least.
no, it would mean nothing to me. It would just be a stream of names I don't understand. So
I will say this: you can probably go watch this film without having watched any of the other films.
Wow.
Okay, now that is impressive. That's very impressive.
They spend some very good, good amount of time laying groundwork while still giving you something new. So that was really impressive, actually.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's phenomenally impressive. Can you imagine telling someone you can go see Endgame without having watched like the 13 previous movies? I mean that's genuinely good storytelling. If
I would say you could
pull that off.
Watch Fast 5 without knowing anything, because they do an intro when they do the assembling of the team where they give you a character intro of 1 sentence or 2, and that's all you need to know.
I wish, and look, say what you will about David Ayer's Suicide Squad, but those introduction to the character cards, like, they tell you everything you needed to know. That's how you get there quickly.
Yes,
but
we didn't need it 3 times from Will Smith.
Yeah, I do. I love the Deadshot one because, like, it lists like and the firearms that he's capable in, and it just keeps going. Right, that's a good
Yeah.
bit. So, anyways, so and then I also watched some really old movies. I watched Sinister from
Empire Strikes
2006.
Back, Aliens.
But
Oh,
those aren't old.
well,
Okay, okay, MCU Spider-Man.
but I did. Oh man, I mean, Sinister is almost 20 years old at this point, so that's
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I watched Sinister from 2006. That's a Scott Derrickson film with Ethan Hawke. I had a good time.
Oh, it's
I
good.
watched it because I want to watch the second one because my buddy's doing a podcast on it, so I wanted to check it out. I want to rewatch it. It's got a really interesting mythology that they built. I'm surprised they didn't do a second one until like 9 years later.
Yeah.
So that was weird. And then I also watched Final Destination 3. It is cemented as my favorite Final Destination film
Why?
because, I mean, a few things. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is the lead. It takes place in a roller coaster, which makes it really fun. I mean, I'm not a roller coaster guy, and it was even prior to that film.
Mm-hmm.
But like the the kills on this movie are some of the most entertaining ones, and I really like the way they kind of weave in the technology of the time, like the digital camera that she has for the yearbook,
Yeah.
like to get clues about how people are gonna die. I thought that was really. Also, she was doing that for the yearbook. I was in the yearbook staff when I was in high school.
Nice.
Relatable.
Oh, really?
So, so yeah, yeah, that was a good one. That was a fun movie to go back and revisit. I kind of want to go back and watch the other ones now because I don't think I've seen the last few. So I think I might as well. The only problem is that they're not really streaming anywhere,
Mm.
except this one was streaming on HBO, but I don't know if they all are.
Which is strange because I mean they were kind of a phenomena for a while.
Yeah.
So you would
Yeah.
think, yeah.
They what's his name? Doctor, the guy from that show you like on Peacock. He's in the first one, I think. Doctor Death or something like that.
Oh, yes. Yes, the guy Josh, it's not Josh. The guy, Jesus Christ, the guy from
90210
the
too,
OC
right?
or
I think.
one of those shows,
Yeah,
right?
Beverly Hills, something like.
Yeah.
Joshua Jackson,
Yeah,
Yes.
he's in the
Dawson's
first one.
Creek.
Dawson's Creek, thank
Whatever.
you.
I knew it was one of those shows.
One of those shows.
I guess
Dawson's
it's
Creek is way better than 90210, sir. Please, let's not get into this.
I don't
debate.
know.
I have strong feelings about Dawson's Creek.
That's interesting because I've never
Yeah,
seen
I
either.
would never have expected that.
I guess I will take a show with Katie Holmes over a show with Heather Locklear.
Ooh,
I beg to differ.
yeah, I beg to differ.
All
You
right,
even
so
left out
those are-
Michelle Williams, sir.
Oh yeah, those are the movies. We can talk about other comics when we get there. But did you guys watch any movies, Clay? You wanna talk about some movies you watched?
Yeah, if you,
There's one in particular I can't wait to hear.
yeah, I mean, because okay, so I'll do that one last. If you want to pull up that clip, it is the end of the movie and the song that goes with the title. But Joe Bob has been doing great drive-in features for Friday night. Last week was Babadook, and I haven't revisited since I originally saw it, and it just is so good. Like, I forget how good that kid is in that movie. Like the mom, you're with her for the ride. You're like unsettled the whole time, but as that kid gets worse, you're just becoming unraveled with her. So it's such a cool movie experience if you haven't seen the Babadook. And I didn't really notice until Joe Bob pointed it out that she was probably a children's author that wrote the book herself. And it was and so that's why she kept finding it. Like, she's the one that was pulling it back in. And then last night Joe Bob showed The Mutilator, which is also called Fall Break, which is one of my favorite bad movies because the music is bad, the acting is bad, the killer is bad, and the tone through the whole movie is all over the place. Like, you're not sure if it's a comedy at the beginning And you're not. And then when it becomes horror, it's really hardcore because there's one of the best kills in horror in this movie for me.
Wow.
Yeah. But again, it's just so weird when you watch it because it's like it starts off with all these people joking who look really too old to be in school, but that's what the '80s was. So, the last movie is one that we found. I forget how we came across this. And then two other things I've been watching is Farscape because James Gunn said Farscape was such a influence on Guardians. And now that I'm in season 2 of it, I mean, fuck, even their suits are like red, like the Ravager suits in the first one. I mean, I forget like how much detail in Farscape, but my rewatch is like bringing back like, oh, this is a good Guardians thing. I can see that here and here. And then I'm burning through Mystery Science Theater. I am on season 6. I didn't watch as many of the Mike shows back in the day, so I'm getting to see a lot of new ones for the first time.
Yeah, is that after it flipped to sci-fi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, actually, at the point I'm watching, it's still Comedy Central because it's funny because these are at the Gizmoplex, but they look like they're rips from Comedy Central because they still have the Comedy Central tag at the end.
Really interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And then a movie that's free on Tubi called Vampire Hookers. Because if you have a movie called Vampire Hookers, my favorite
things. Sorry, go ahead.
if you have a movie called Vampire Hookers, I'm gonna watch it. Then you get to the ending. I mean, the movie is bad. Like, I don't have to tell you how bad it is, but it's free on YouTube. I have queued up the end of the movie so you can see how it ends.
Oh my god!
And then hear the theme song that is one of the greatest pieces of music ever written.
All right, well, let's check it out. I think you had already clicked it.
I queued it right here. This is the end of the movie.
Fuck is happening?
He's farting.
I'm parenting?
Yeah. They fart.
Don't get hooked by a hooker when you sail in southern seas. Even though she's a looker, she can bring you to your knees. She'll take you to the graveyard and try to ease your fears. But her friends out in the graveyard have been dead for 100 years. They're vampire hookers. Yeah, they're vampire hookers.
Sing if you know the words. And blood is not all they suck.
Wow. Oh my god.
That is really all you need there. And so that's what I've been watching.
Though I could tell we got more than enough of Vampire Hookers.
And I'm going to have to bring weird stuff on my own because Unsocial Spectators is going on hiatus for a while. I don't know how much Mark wants me to talk. He had to go to the hospital for some things, and he just said we're going to take a break for a while. So,
no. All right.
I'll be bringing my movie weirdness more in here.
Oh, yay. Thanks.
Next week, Vampire Hookers 2.
I mean, if they can keep going, good for them.
They bring Vampire Hookers 2. They bring you to your knees.
Mm-hmm.
Blood is not all they suck. That and it's on the poster too. So it's just
oh my god. Oh, that's just so awful.
Yeah. Before we get into Josh, coming from Leonard Kim, and people really have the audacity to complain about another Transformer or Fast movie. That's right.
Yeah. Now I will. Okay. I totally agree with you, Leonard Kim, but when one of the movies I'm going to talk about, when I was in the theater to go see it, they showed a trailer for the next Transformers movie. And I literally was sitting there thinking, how in fuck's name have there been this many movies of a franchise this bad?
Yeah.
And beyond Bumblebee, name to me one good Transformers movie.
Extinction.
I like the first one and the fourth one, which I think is the one with dinosaurs.
Okay.
I like Extinction because it's so bad. It's the worst one. It's
all right, but that doesn't make it good.
Yeah, but it's like the choices in a kids movie to kill T.J. Miller, who's the comic relief, which is like fucking wild.
I like Leonard's comment. True. All right, I get it. They are cinema. Yeah. So
listen, if it makes you feel better, this new one takes place in the Bumblebee timeline.
I wondered about that because he's in the trailer.
Timeline.
The Bumblebee timeline. All right.
So, but do you have any non-comic media, Josh, you want to talk about? Before we
I do. So I'll do good and I'll do bad and then good. So if you remember, I think the last time I was on, it's been ages now. We did a trailer reaction to Charlie Day's Fool's Paradise. And so I was excited after it got released. I really wanted to go see it. And I went to AMC North Park, which is here in Dallas, is showing it. First off, I just want to point out, when I walked into the theater, I was there 10 minutes before the trailers began. I was the only one in the theater. By the time the movie began, there were 5 of us. And halfway through, 2 of the people left.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. So what's really upsetting about this movie is it has all the makings to be fantastic. The cast is great. The idea is great. It has a heart at the center of it that kind of carries it through to the end. So it feels intentional. There is something off, and I can't place it if it's the pacing or the editing or both. But it just the pacing is off in such a way that moments that should be funny don't hit. And there is one scene that made me just bust out laughing my ass off. And it is simply because John Malkovich is just chewing scenery. And you realize by the end of it, or I did at least, that it is just a riff off the Koch brothers. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so that scene is great. But it's just like, there's just something off of it. And I left almost kind of bummed. I'm like, I went in just wanting to love this movie. Like, I really felt like it was just going to be a perfect, like, comedic hit. And just throughout, everything just kind of felt like, this just isn't working. And I can't, and again, it's not performances. Everyone in it is great. I mean, there's not a bad performance, really. It felt like, and I meant to look up who the editor was, and maybe like if working with Day as director, they just edited it. And I know this film had a very long gestation. Day had said in an interview that there was like an earlier version of it that then he went back and refilmed some scenes for. So it seems like it's had a long kind of process to get to screens. So I don't know. I was really bummed. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I would say it's the sort of thing that if it's on TV and you're bored one day and have nothing to do, watch it.
It's one of those movies that if you're locked in a room and it's the only thing on the TV,
right,
you might as well look in that direction, you know?
Yes, I mean if your choices are vampire hookers or Fool's Paradise, maybe watch both. So.
I love just looking it up and seeing the reviews. Aggressively unfunny, and bland satire.
Well, to the point where you said it has heart. So Charlie Day, he writes on Mythic Quest, that Apple TV show about the gaming company,
which I just finished the first season of. I should have added that to the list.
So you can tell that he probably brings a lot of that same, because this show it's funny and it has a lot of heart too.
Yeah, it does, and it's and the real heart of it is between Charlie Day, who really has to kind of carry the film by never talking, because that's the conceit of the movie is he doesn't talk. So there's a lot of just like expressive and physical things that he does, and he's very good at it. And between him and Ken Jeong kind of carries the film as well, just kind of being this kind of lackluster you know, uh, really grasping to succeed sort of person who takes Charlie Day on as his client. The other thing that really bugged me is there's a lot of running gags through it that should have been great and brilliant, but again, the pacing is so off that you don't realize till later it's a running gag. So it's like it's that kind of stuff. And it's the sort of thing I think when it probably comes out to streaming, if it's on a service, I'll rewatch it just to give it a second chance and see if it kind of redeems itself. But I don't think it is. So
Well, let's see. You need to be Blake Edwards to pull this off. One wishes Day had looked further afield than Hollywood for inspiration. Okay, that one doesn't mean anything to me because I don't know who that person is. Who's Blake Edwards?
I found a
Oh.
review on Google that says that this guy calls it a rom-com. And I'm like, you have not at any point said anything about that. And I think he reviewed the wrong movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah,
so
nothing too good.
So that one, actually, go back down. The bottom right one. Keep going. Yeah, there you go. Fool's Paradise is a promising start in a genuinely charming film. I agree with all that, though undeniably hindered by a shaky grasp on storytelling and character development. I don't really think it's character development. I think it's really just how the movie is structured and paced. It just there's just something wrong, and there's some beautifully shot stuff there.
Yeah.
You know, the sequence with him underwater is really well done. So yeah, now it is also in homage to kind of classic Hollywood, so the film has this kind of like timeless quality to it. So it'll combine like old cars with like cell phones, you know, like it's that kind of thing. Which again, I love. That's the sort of thing I find endearing, but it just something doesn't click and it's really frustrating. But so that's bad. The good is, and I'm curious if either of you watch this, is anyone else watching Jury Duty on Freevee?
No, that's the James Masters what's his name?
James Marsden
show.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Let me present this conceit to you because it sounds like the most awkward thing ever, and it is brilliantly funny. So the conceit is this: it is a documentary show where supposedly for the first time a jury in LA County has been allowed to be interviewed by filmmakers during the trial process. The difference is this: the trial's fake. Everyone in it is fake. All the jurors are fake, except for one guy who has no idea it's fake. And what is so brilliant about this show could have gone sideways in so many ways. What is so brilliant about it is the one guy who doesn't know it's fake is such a genuinely good person that he just makes the show work. And we're only halfway through, but as the series goes on, more and more just weird random shit happens, and you can just tell they basically structured the whole show to just see like at what point will this person break, right? James Marsden, and this is kind of brilliant, James Marsden is the only real name in it, and because it's set in LA County, he's playing himself, but he's playing like the douchiest version of himself. He's like constantly obsessed with like a film he might be making. He's always being like, oh, I almost said the director's name, you know, like this kind of shit. It is so good. It is like amazing. Oh, interesting. Leonard didn't like it. Okay.
Leonard came, and I'm in the minority of people who didn't like Jury Duty. The finale was decent though.
And we haven't gotten to the finale yet, but it's
created by two office writers.
Yeah. And you can kind of, so one of the actors playing in the jury, I recognize as someone who's been in, he played one of the townspeople in Parks and Rec that would show up when they would do town halls or whatever. He was probably in one other show as well. So I recognize
Kirk Fox.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the guy who worked at the sewage department.
Oh,
Parks
yes.
and Rec.
Thank you. That's it. Okay.
Who is Joe?
He was Joe.
Was it Switch Joe?
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. No, you're right. Okay. I thought you
But
made
I
it
also
Joe.
noticed there is another name in here that I do recognize, and it's the judge. His name is Alan Barinholtz.
Okay, what has he been in? Because every time he talks, I'm like, I've heard his voice before.
I don't know, but we know his kids because his kids are Ike Barinholtz and John Barinholtz. John
No.
Barinholtz from Superstore,
Yeah.
and what's the new car show?
Oh,
Auto.
American Auto. Yeah.
American Auto. Yeah, he's on that. And then Ike Barinholtz was on Mad TV and
Oh my God. Okay.
the Mindy
because
Project. So this is
every-
his dad.
Every
Suicide
time he
Squad.
talks, I'm like, I've heard him somewhere.
That's probably why, because you've heard his kids.
Yeah, probably so. Oh, that's fascinating. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's definitely worth a watch. I was reading a great review that was like, Jury Duty is a surprise smash hit. I pray they don't make a second season. And I kind of agree with that. I don't think this is a conceit that can carry, right? Think about what happened between this is a comment only for Clay. What happened between season 1 of The Real World and season 2 of The Real World, right? And how when we get to season 2, even though it's still new and fresh, everyone on it kind of knew what it was. And I think that is what would happen with this.
Yeah. Because once you know the bit, then you're aware of the cameras. Like Real World season 1 is only like 8 episodes. It's not that long, but it ran during the summer over and over. So people watched it so many times. And when they finally got to a season 2, people were like auditioning for it. So they were like coming to it with like a character.
I think what they could do is present a different situation where not something like not jury duty, just something else socially, like I don't know, like a focus group or I don't know how you get
really
people.
Good.
Yeah, like just make it a different setting, but still in that same premise of like a bunch of people that have to kind of. Now, jury duty is kind of like you have to go, I guess. Right? That's it's so. I don't know, something like that could work.
Yeah, I would say one thing that really makes this work is because of something James Marsden does in the first episode to try and get out of jury duty. Ends up to
does he show up in a Cyclops outfit?
No. But it makes the entire jury have to be sequestered. And because they're sequestered, it's kind of they get to know each other really well. So like there's one guy on it who is he's kind of like a homebrew transhumanist, if you will. He's somebody who is obsessed with humans becoming more technological,
like the singularity and shit.
Yeah. And so like in the first episode, they have to take all their devices away when they get sequestered. And the bailiff pulls out of his bag a Bluetooth headphone, but it looks like a human ear. And it has this like wire that comes down. He's explaining the whole thing. So the guy who doesn't know this is all fake. And this, I think, just speaks to his heart. He ends up not really rooming, but they have like the 2 hotel rooms with the door in between. Oh, suite mates.
Yeah.
And he ends up suite mates with this guy. And so he invites him over the first weekend to watch A Bug's Life. And he explains the reason why is because A Bug's Life is about an inventor who nobody seems to understand. And kind of, he's like, I just wanted him to watch that to like understand that, like, yeah, maybe he may feel a little weird, but there's greatness in him. And I'm like, this guy is so sweet, like, who does that? This guy does. So anyway.
I may have to check it out. It sounds pretty.
Yeah, it's on Freevee, which except for the fact it has like OG Night Court, I've never turned on Freevee before.
Yeah, and isn't it just Amazon? Why does it?
It is just Amazon. Yeah, and
Amazon just have Amazon Prime that's free.
Yeah, it's very strange. And actually, the last time I logged on to start watching Jury Duty, I noticed it was prompting me to watch my Amazon Prime library in there. It was weird. It was very strange. So
yeah,
anyway,
I don't want to support Amazon. I'll watch a good pirated version, even if it's free.
I've only watched the that Alex Rider movie that I watched on Freevee, which I didn't know it was a whole franchise. There's a lot of people watched that video for that movie that I just made because it was on the list. Yeah, very interesting. So
that is a weird one. Oh, and just from reading real quick, Ike Barinholtz and John Barinholtz were actors, and their dad was an attorney, but they called him to play this role of the judge.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
Like the article on him on the Hollywood Reporter calls him a nepo daddy.
Nepo daddy, nice.
Nepo daddy.
That's awesome.
Cool. All right, let's talk some comics here.
Yeah.
For the next like 15 minutes or so before we get into that.
I know.
It's probably
Sorry,
20
I
minutes.
always go long.
That's okay. I'll go through it quickly, and then if there's a few, Josh, I know I'm sure there's a few that you also read. So
Yeah.
the first one I do want to talk about, and here, let me take some. There we go. I read Mark Miller's Nemesis Reloaded 1 through 5.
Okay,
Yes.
I want to
wanna
know
hear
how
about
this is because I stopped reading the other one, the $1.99 one he was doing.
Yeah. Oh, the night.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Night Court.
No,
Uh,
nightclub.
so the reason I kept reading was because of Jorge Jimenez's art. It is beautiful. It's some of his best work. I will say this book is like ultra violent. I've never read the original Nemesis, but
Oh,
this
it's
does a
good. It's really
this
good.
does a it feels real edge lordy for sure.
Oh yeah.
But the art is really beautiful.
Well, isn't that
and-
what Mark Miller is?
Yeah. So I mean, I
Lordy.
knew what I was in for. And
I mean,
it's only
it
5
is
issues.
essentially the Joker is Batman.
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I gathered from it. So like why not get the Batman artist to do the book? I really enjoyed it, and it's also setting up some stuff that Mark Miller's planning to do going forward that I'm sure they've already announced. That looks really fun, like which will include a lot of his other work in the Miller world and everything he's kind of written.
And this is also still owned by Netflix. So, is there any chance of Nemesis becoming a Netflix
I would
film or series?
if they do it, they should do it animated so they can do the violence because otherwise it's gonna be like Invincible.
Yeah, thank you.
So, another thing I read, one of my favorite things this week, Maleficent, Disney Villains Maleficent #1 from Dynamite.
Interesting. Okay, I haven't read any of this new line of Disney comics.
So, Maleficent is my favorite Disney villain, especially the dragon version of Maleficent. And this is written by, illustrated by Sue Lee, who I met last year at the Dallas convention. It's really cool. Like these are all like they're doing a bunch of these for the villains, where it's just stories from before the movies happen. So yeah, this one's really fun because unlike the Angelina Jolie movies, which I only know the premise. I guess it's kind of the same. Like humans only want to interact with Maleficent to take her power away, and this is the same. Like the story is very similar. So I really liked it.
Okay.
So
why is Disney sending IDW stuff? See, I just don't understand why they would outsource comics.
Well,
when
that's
they own
Dynamite.
Marvel.
They love licensing comics because IDW is doing some of their stuff. Dynamite's doing some of their stuff. I think Dark Horse is now going to do some of their stuff too.
Wow, really? Huh.
I mean, Disney's having their cake and eating it because they can publish their own comics through Marvel, or they can license stuff and not even have to, and just allow
just
their
cash the
properties.
check.
Yeah, just cash the check. A new series from DC, Batman: The Brave and the Bold. We get Tom King and Mitch Gerads reuniting to tell us a story that goes back all the way to I don't know.
It's the first Joker story.
Yeah,
so
Batman #1 is it Batman #1 or Detective? I don't know. One of the.
No,
I think just recently reread that.
Batman 1.
Yeah,
it is incredible. It is so good.
yeah.
And I will be honest with you, it's the only one of the 4 stories in here I read. I bought this because I saw how that was going to play into it. On a scale of 1 to, obviously this is a correct statement. Why does Tom King write the best Joker? Because remember that before he took on the series, that free comic book day story that I rave about, that was just before the wedding. Yep. And it was like the best Joker story I'd ever read. This now is getting really fucking close. I mean,
wow,
it's so good.
But there's also a Stormwatch story. I think that one's really fun as well.
I don't know Stormwatch, don't care.
It's yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
It's early authority.
Yeah. Also,
which is weird. I thought Stormwatch disbanded completely.
I think they're back. So what's his name? Agent Bones or whatever his name is. Like he's putting together a new team.
Okay.
Then we have
I did see James Gunn tweeting that he was reading Alan Moore's run on Wildcats.
oh
And
yeah,
I'm like going, is he going to do like a Wildcats movie?
he might. I mean, he's already doing The Authority, so he could do anything at this point.
I mean, my favorite run on Wildcats would be that Joe Casey run. I'd rather see that than the Alan Moore run.
And then we also Christopher Canwell, who's written a bunch of stuff, including like *Halt and Catch Fire* and stuff like that. He's doing a Superman story on here,
I saw that. I'll probably read that one.
which with Javier, I think it's Javier Rodriguez art. Maybe I had that wrong, but it's really good. And then Dan Mora does like some really fun Batman stuff at the end.
You're right. Yeah. And am I correct in all of these except maybe that last one is
Are ongoing. Yeah.
Yeah, they're ongoing stories, right? So
Like I think they're 4-part stories, each one of them.
Okay,
Except, yeah.
So yes, I will be paying $8 for 4 issues for 1/4 of a story.
Wow.
in each.
It's like
that good.
You're buying the 4 comics, but you're buying them in pieces, right?
Right.
So, and it is prestige format. So like
Now,
it does
yeah,
have
it
a
is.
little
Now,
spine, so.
my only, and this is such a grognard old man complaint. My only complaint about this is it's called Brave and the Bold, and historically that is Batman teaming up with somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's not happening here. It's just like this is an anthology book. So
Yeah.
why go with Brave and the Bold?
I wish it was only called Brave and the Bold. I don't think you need the Batman. I know why they
I
put
totally
the Batman
agree.
title on there.
Yeah,
But,
I agree because I got to that Stormwatch story and I flip a page and I'm like, where the fuck is Batman? Well, I'm not reading this, so
Yeah. Then we also have a new book from DC, a new series called The Vigil, featuring some new heroes that Ramby created for this. Really cool stuff. Like everyone is new and they have some really cool powers. They're like the Shadow Agency. I really like it, and it features characters of Asian American descent. So, like, it kind of focuses a lot on how different their agency is to like an American agency as well, and how they approach things. They have some really cool powers. There's a new Avengers title by Jed McKay. It's really good. It's really good.
I almost picked it up and then I didn't at the last minute.
Who's his
I was-
lineup?
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
She's
Thor.
the team leader, right?
Yep. Captain Marvel, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Black Panther, Vision, and Scarlet Witch. I love the lineup. I really dig it. I'm glad Wanda's back in the Avengers book.
I'm glad Jim McKay's doing more books.
Yeah, me too. They also put out a facsimile of this one. So really cool. And then this will be something we can talk about, Josh.
Okay.
Fantastic Four 700.
Yes.
This is one of the best Doctor Doom stories I've ever read.
100% agree. It's really good. It's really good.
It's supersized. It's like 60 pages or something.
Yeah, it's even more than a double-sized issue, right? Like it was long. I got the Simonson cover. I'm surprised neither of us got the wraparound cover.
I really like what Alex Ross is doing.
Yeah, I know.
If he only ever does Fantastic Four covers for the rest of his career, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. Now my only complaint with this, and this is more on me than anything in the issue, is I don't know how Dr. Doom is related to Valeria.
He's her godfather.
But how did that come about?
The Fantastic Four asked, he made some kind. I don't remember the story. Okay. It was some kind of deal where he saved her life when she was a baby, and so I actually really love their relationship with Reed's kids and Doctor Doom, specifically Valeria.
Yeah,
because as much as he antagonizes Reed, you can tell he genuinely cares for the kids.
Right. Well, he genuinely cares for Valeria because there are moments where he's like could care less about the other kids. So
Yeah, Franklin's had a rough too with like Dan
Mhm.
Slott retcon his mutant hood out, and
Oh, interesting. Okay.
so
But
yeah.
yeah, it is great. It is such a great issue. And it has a great hook in the beginning as well, because they set it up like, if I had not gotten the cover that kind of spoiled it, if you go into it not knowing Doom is in it, the first like 10 pages would not lead you to believe it has anything to do with Doctor Doom.
Yeah, I was like, is this a horror story? What's
Yeah,
happening?
exactly. And have we ever actually met Aunt Petunia?
I was about to ask the same
I'm
question.
I'm 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 looking at Clay. All right, because we do in this one. We
So this
finally
is
meet Aunt Petunia. Yeah.
this is a first appearance of Aunt
I don't know if
Petunia.
I agree with that.
I just like how she kind of looks like who's the actor from AP Bio that
Yeah,
plays the
yeah.
secretary. She looks just like her. So
I mean, if we've never seen her, this would be the first appearance. But I mean, there's 700 of these.
right.
Also, this is the longest I've ever pulled a Fantastic Four series. I'm on
Really?
issue 7, and
Wow. You even
I bought
dropped
all
Dan
of them.
Slott?
So. Oh, then I didn't even pick up Dan Slots. I only bought the one where he fought the Thing, the Hulk. And
Okay,
Thing
her
fought.
first appearance was 1964. So yeah, she showed up in
Okay.
FF 25.
That early.
She's
Wow.
back.
All right.
She's back with a vengeance.
Oh well, it
Oh,
says
you know what?
mentioned. It shows first appearance 1981 Fantastic Four 238, which I'm pretty sure is a Byrne issue.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Wow, that was a long time in between, like
Yeah.
mention and I guess you wouldn't have much of a reason to bring Aunt Petunia in, but she
I
does
mean,
get mentioned a lot.
she gets mentioned a lot. Yeah. I mean, she's like a catchphrase almost more than a real
Yeah.
character. So,
All right. That's all of mine. Well, we could take a few more 10 more minutes to talk about everyone else's because I know we got a lot of comics to talk about. Clay, you want to go over some of yours, and then because I think there's a few more that Josh has that I can also talk about. So let's go with yours first.
Yeah, that Fantastic Four 238 is all John Byrne, written, penciled, inked, and it's the cover that says "Honest, Doctor Doom is not in this Marvel comic."
Nice.
That's funny.
So a John Byrne humor issue is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have been reading Warlock by Jim Starlin because I just don't have any Warlock knowledge in my head. And after Guardians 3, I wanted to really dig into more space stuff.
I still have to give this to you.
Yeah, we have to have a meetup. I have a bag of stuff for Kyle. Like, I have so much stuff for him. I have your book from Comic Book Club, too.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But Warlock is fun. Like, Warlock kind of gives me hope for future Guardian movies because one of the big bads that they had is the Universal Church of Truth. That has always been an enemy that Warlock fights, that the Guardians fight. And I'd love to see another director take on a trilogy of Guardians and maybe make the Universal Church of Truth like one of the big bads in that, because I would be interested to see Marvel take on like an anti-religious stance, because they're just based on like what Moon Knight had. Their position on religion and the afterlife seems to be whatever you believe in exists when you die.
Mm.
So I'm kind of curious about the Universal Church of Truth because it runs on belief.
Oh,
the more
wow.
people believe in it, the stronger,
The stronger
it is.
gets. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So and then let me share this real quick because that's all I've been reading. I've been organizing my comics, and I have like a bunch that I buy at quarter sales that I either give out or I will cut up and tear up and make into different projects. I know you can't believe I would tear up a comic, but
Shops did it. Oh my goodness, Josh.
Josh is about to die. Don't die, Josh.
Don't worry. We didn't hear any of it.
Oh man.
It's gonna make a real funny gift though.
Oh great. Wonderful.
Just a quick intro. I've been making my own boxes from some of the art that I've cut out of that I've cut from other comics. So I wanted to show some of the stuff I've been doing. Like here's the Planet of the Apes one I bought,
I
but
almost
I've been
bought that too. Yeah.
yeah, but like I use a lot of Chris Bocciolo art because like he's just one of my favorite artists. And then I was able to take like splash pages from comics and put them together
That's awesome.
and do them on sides of boxes. I even have like extra Hawkeye issues you can see down here. But I did about half a dozen boxes, and it's just like the middle part that's just kind of weak. I should have cut it better. But I just wanted to show off some of the stuff that I've been making. And that's how I tag I just write on them and just write what's in there.
Nice.
And then I use my inventory to say, like, I whatever box this is where you can find them, because I have like so many, my collection's so big. And this is something I would,
I was gonna say the only book I'm upset is that you tore up a Hawkeye issue. But
well, I mean, honestly, if they're in that stack, I got them at a quarter sale because I'm not going to pay full price to tear something.
Well,
out,
now
so.
they're worth like hundreds of dollars, Clay. So
they're worth that if you can find somebody who will pay that.
Save your Hawkeyes. Just wait till look. Jeremy Renner's doing a lot better. We've seen him. He's working out, so he's ready to come back as Hawkeye any minute now.
I was going to ask you guys about this too. Like, I have a set. Like, these two obviously like go together, and I have like some of that poster board, that thick poster board that I was going to mount these on, or frame them and put them next to each other. Like, the top ones are already torn, so they will be mounted on something. But then these are bagged and boarded, but it just doesn't look as good separated.
Right. Yeah.
So what do you get? Do you guys ever like take some of the cover art and put them together, or do you never demolish your comics like I do?
No. But I also don't bag and board them. So I'm kind of perfectly in the middle.
Oh, okay. Well, I was curious because that was one I was wanting to do. Here's some more exteriors. This was one I just loved because this was from the Ultimates 2 run that just has the ultimate Ultimates.
Oh, wow. Oh, nice.
Hey, the Ultimates are coming back.
Oh, these look like I got some duplicates. Yeah, there it is. I should just go through this with like a black Sharpie.
Oh, yeah, that looks neat if you do that. Yeah. I like it. I like that I mean, Chris Bocciolo is a fantastic artist. So, like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one had a bad glare on it. Oh, and then like a great Groot splash page I had in one of my Guardians books.
Man, those are nice.
And Chris doing a fantastic job as Captain America.
See, and it's funny. I just always associate him with Vertigo stuff. I think I missed the whole like superhero period that he was kind of drawing.
Oh, he did a lot of Age of Apocalypse. So,
yeah, that's
like his take on that is mostly his designs.
You know, to me, his more like the most recognizable run for me for Bacalo is the Doctor Strange book that he did with
Jason Aaron.
Jason Aaron, yeah.
Yeah, you got the Avengers pets playing poker.
Oh, that should be up on a wall.
I know that's real art.
Yeah.
But Shelby and I finally bought a house. I wanted to show everyone.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
Yes, you can buy the Fast and Furious house, and she was putting it up last night. And
wow,
it is just awesome because it comes.
Does it blow
Brian
up?
and Dom's car.
Does
it even has a little picnic area in the back for when family comes over.
But can you blow it up and then put it back together?
Of course you can.
Is it rebuilt by family?
At least for McDonald's?
Yeah, I've been trying to collect and I have so many Nebulas that they're all getting custom paint jobs, and she's getting
nice.
a Ravager costume, and then I'll do her original costume. But yeah, we've gotten so many Nebulas going through them. And then let me show you.
Kids meals are a perfect portion for anybody. So don't let anybody shame you into not buying kids meals.
Yeah, I wanted to show you the original idea I got from doing those comic boxes, which is I have a whole bookcase that I did with Chris's art,
Yeah.
and it also has Scotty Young in it. So like this is a
Oh,
whole
wow,
book
look at
case
that.
that I've
Oh,
done
that's pretty sick.
with just their art.
Damn, that's awesome.
It's similar to what I had done with when I was in the other room with the little background piece that I still
Yeah.
have.
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that. That one looks cool because there's no gaps, right? It's just all art.
Yeah.
That looks
Yeah,
super
because
cool.
I was able to take I would just take a full page and go, okay, like I really like this panel, so I could block it out with other stuff and then just layer it all the way on.
Did you like put like varnish or something on top, or like a
I
clear coat or
used
something?
Mod Podge.
All right, yeah. So it's like decoupage kind of, right, that you're doing?
Exactly. Yeah. Like I just do a base glue on the bottom to put it on, and then once you have everything on that you want it, you go over it with the Mod Podge, and it'll leave a clear and cover it too. So.
And when we get to 10,000 subscribers, you can enter to win this bookcase.
So speaking of I don't know, DIY, Clay, if your 3D printer is up and working, I just discovered Micro Center up here sells.
Oh, I was like, that store's been there for a while.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they have a whole maker section now, and they sell filament. And so I finally was able to go and get new without having to order on Amazon, so I could get the color. This looks awful. I can't.
Dude, I have like over 24 things of filament.
Oh, good Lord. Okay. Well, I was super impressed that they had it there, and like you can get different. Like this is a matte texture.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, I
have a clear one.
You have what?
A clear one, clear filament.
Neat.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
For Invisible Woman.
Now, my printer was able to print one thing, and then the second time I ran it to print something, the printer had started to smash against the base.
Yeah.
And broke the heating element. So.
Oh God.
I've got and now I've tried to fix it. So I've gotten all the things, but now I can't get it to feed through properly with the upgrade that's with it.
Okay. Shit. I'm sorry.
So now I've got to work with it and basically make it work myself.
That's
for how damaged it is.
That's too extreme of do it yourself.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, but I didn't pay for anything. So,
do it all yourself. So
at that point, you might as well get the little pen.
Okay.
The film pen. All right. Josh, you want to go over your books?
Yeah, sure. So here are 3 I've not read yet, but I picked up. Still reading Black Cloak. This is issue 5. I think they just announced this is only going to be 6 issues.
Okay. And that's when I'll go back and reread it.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it has the makings of being of like an ongoing series. So I'm kind of a little bummed about that. I do wonder if it's going to be one of those like this was the first story, and then maybe a year or 2 from now it comes back with like a second 6-issue arc or something. So, Planet of the Apes #2. Haven't read it yet, but I had to get this cover with the great. Did you read this one?
I did. I'm really enjoying this series.
Good. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, because I was surprised how issue 1 is structured. It just keeps going back and back and back. Yeah. And so I really have no idea what to expect from this one, like where we're going to be. So, and then I just based on the description, I decided to give this. This is actually, I think, 2 weeks old.
Yep. I read that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really interesting. I like it's Cullen Bunn, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it good?
Yeah. So you haven't read it?
No. Not yet.
Okay. Yeah. No, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I made a video for it, but I did read it at least.
I mean, if I'm being honest, this is the stack I haven't read yet. So I'm way behind. Way behind. But other books I did read this week. Continue to read Saga, which, goddamn, this book, it just every time you think you know what's happening, they just throw something new at you that you're not expecting. And if you're reading Saga month to month at this point, like I am, they keep. I try not to spoil anything. They keep throwing in these possibilities for the return of a character. and then constantly, like in the next issue, taking them away, right? But they have something new has happened with one of the ongoing characters that is out of left field, and it just amazing, like really, really incredible.
The last issue I read was the end of the last volume. Like this, like
Okay.
a big thing happened. So
Yeah.
I do like reading this better as a trade. So I'm waiting.
I can see that. I am, and it could just be like this. This is the longest ongoing series I've ever like stuck with, right? And it could just be I'm so invested in it now that it's easy for me to read it month to month because I kind of know where it left off last time. So but having said that, I totally get reading this in trades is kind of the way to go.
Yep.
And let's see. I'm continuing to read Miracle Man. This also, I thought this was the last issue, but there's one more after this, it looks like. Anyone else reading this, or is it just me?
I think it's just you.
Okay.
I have the first. Well, I have the first 4.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, this is 5, and boy, howdy, is it? I don't really know what Gaiman and Buckingham are trying to do with this, but it's definitely compelling. I feel like it really takes everything that Moore did in the original, and it's not trying to undo it, but it's sort of like, let's look around the corner and get this from a different perspective. And it's kind of fascinating how they're doing that. That said, one thing I do love about this is at the end of each issue, and I haven't been able to confirm this, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about it. At the end of each issue, I'm going to turn the page around so I don't spoil anything. They always have these backup stories that are Miracle Man he's conducting research to figure out why young Miracle Man is having such a hard time. Mm-hmm. And what I love about this is it's basically just always reprints of Silver Age era young Marvel Man stories. Oh, wow. So his research are the comics, and I think that's something that Gaiman brings to this that Moore kind of only alluded to in the original series. Is Gaiman kind of doubles down on the fact that no, these are very clearly comic characters, and we're gonna play into that here. So I don't know. So that's fun. Because I can't not give these things a try. And they're really, you guys know, I've read a few of them. They're either okay or not so great, but I had to give yet another From the World of Hellboy series a try. This is Miss Truesdale and the Fall of Hyperborea. Anyone else read this?
So I read that as well. So I'm waiting to hear. What did you think of it?
So I would say so far, I think it's the most accessible.
I agree.
Okay, like of the others I've read, I feel like there's a lot of backstory that I don't know, and so I'm immediately sort of confused off the bat. I like the art, I like the writing, I like the conceit, and I kind of liked how, again, it uses the opening to make you think the story is going one way, and then they sort of flip it on you, which I kind of liked as well. I did feel it was rather abrupt. Like, I think I read the whole thing in like 5 minutes. I was like, holy shit, I'm done. Like, what happened?
All the flashback stuff, or all the gladiator stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
It's very quick. There's not a lot of dialogue, right? So
no,
but I'm a big fan of Jesse Lonergan. Like, his art is fantastic.
It's really good.
So when I saw that Mike Mignola is actually writing this, because sometimes it's like Mike Mignola and another writer, which probably really means that the other writer is doing most of the writing. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
Okay.
I asked my buddy if this meant anything because it's from the world of Hellboy, but like, what is it? Hyperborea is just like, it's a reference to a sword or something. But it doesn't appear in the issue, so I think it just means about the time frame, maybe when the sword came. I don't know. I really like all the flashback stuff a lot.
I agree. And the thing also is, see, I'm always fascinated by this because when I think Hyperborea, I think Conan, right? Like that's the
That's what
world
I was
that,
thinking too.
yeah. And so, but what I don't know, because I'm not so well versed in the Hellboy stuff, is it pulling from that or is it just using the word?
Yeah. I don't know. So,
Now
but it was good.
I did also, this last page cracked me up.
That was
Did you
funny.
read? It
Yeah,
was
that was
really
funny.
good. It's just these two old guys and like explaining all this shit. And then at the end, you have this like little caption. It's like it reveals they were both crushed to death by a milk cart outside the Admiral's Teeth pub in Whitechapel. They are currently engaged in writing the definitive history of hell. Like, yeah, I don't know who they are. I don't know, other than explaining a little bit of like the world building, why this is there. I don't even know who drew it, but it just killed me. I just laughed. And it was very strange because I read this immediately after, so it kind of flavored it. After reading this graphic novel that I'd never heard of, The Witches of World War II. Now, this is a TKO book. And I totally stumbled on it because, you know, I'm on their email list and TKO did like a, you know, leading ladies Mother's Day kind of thing. So they offered this on Amazon for 30% off in print. So it brought it down to like $10. And not only am I like, based on the title alone, I'm like, hell yeah. It's written by Paul Cornell, who I love. Cornell's written a ton of Doctor Who stuff. And I'm like, shit, how have I not heard of this? So I immediately ordered it. I sat down last night to read it. I'll say the book is okay. First off, the art, and the artist is Valeria Burzo. Burzo. The art is incredible. I love the art. This is exactly the kind of art. It has very much a kind of Belgian sort of comic vibe.
Yeah,
that I just like. It is very loosely based on a true story. I just want to, like, if you read the back, it's like based on a true story. If you read the end notes at the end, it's more fiction than fact. But the basic idea is,
World War II happened. So
yeah, right. Well, the basic conceit is they pulled together a team of people involved in British mysticism. And the idea is they're not genuinely using magic. They are aware that there is a subset of the Nazis who are obsessed with mysticism. So the thinking is, if they can basically deploy tactics to convince the Nazis that they are successfully using mysticism and using it in lieu with the Nazis winning, this becomes basically a it's not propaganda, like it's not spying. There's a term for it, like a campaign of misdirection or untruth, right? And so they bring together, you know, probably the only name that I knew at least was Aleister Crowley. But then they bring together the main character is a woman by the name of Doreen Valiente. And then three other people. They were all real people. And they loosely knew each other, but according to the end notes, they never formally got together during the war. Like they mainly met after the war. So there's a lot of, again, a lot of fiction here. But the thing I did not realize is, oh God, this would spoil the end. I don't know. Do you guys mind if I spoil the end?
Go for it.
What?
Go for it.
Okay. With all of the misdirection that they're presenting, they basically get on Rudolf Hess's good side. And they actually travel to Germany and meet Hesse, and like they're all there. So they basically convince him to fly to England because he will be welcomed there by them and the mystical like collective in England to help win the war. And he lands, and of course they capture him, and that is true. I never knew this before. Apparently in like 1941, Hesse flew to England thinking that they were going to welcome him there, and they fucking captured his ass. I had no idea that was actually true.
Wow.
And that is Yeah,
That sounds like some Ocean's 11 type of shit right there.
Exactly. So it's a fun read. It's very. I feel like because it conforms to the TKO model, which this has to be 6 issues. I feel like there's a lot of. There are moments where I was like going back, like, who is this person? What just happened? Right? It moves a little too quickly. I think it would have benefited from having a little bit of more breath, if you will. Still a really fun read. The art is great. I read it in one sitting, so yeah. Anyway,
Oh wow.
I wonder why TKO doesn't just do books whatever size they want.
Yeah.
I think it's because they're kind of stuck in this model, which originally I love, of offering
singles,
the
trades.
singles that come in the slipcase, and then the trade, and then the digital. But they've changed the model up so much. I mean, originally it was you only bought it from them, and you could buy like a PDF straight from this, just a PDF. And now it's like you can only get the digital copy on Amazon as a Kindle. They don't sell the PDFs anymore, and from them you can get the print, but you can only get the single issues in the slipcase from them. They don't sell those anywhere else. So yeah, I'm kind of with you. It's like at that point, if you're mixing up the model so much, then just, I guess, abandon it and just do comics. So
yeah, that's interesting.
Anyway, but that's it for me. I'm done. I'm sorry.
Well, good. We definitely rambled enough. We got a couple more things that I do want to get to, and I don't want to go too long. So let's go not too quickly, but let's just take a look at some of the Eisner Awards that were announced. I put a link to a Gizmodo article that kind of summarizes everything.
Yeah.
Was there any in particular that you guys wanted to touch on? If not, we can go through some of the more I don't want to say bigger ones, but
I mean, I've got a few as I reviewed it, and by a few I mean these are the ones I want to win. Under best short story, I really want Finding Batman to win. That's the Kevin Conroy Pride story.
I think the Kevin Conroy is going to seal the deal on that.
I think it's going to seal the deal as well.
Oh, yeah. What are the other nominees for that one?
Of the ones I'm aware of, so You Get It by Hickman and Marco Cicchetti in Amazing Fantasy 1000. I didn't know that one. One is Good Morning by Christopher Cantwell and Alex Linz in Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood #4.
Oh, I think I read that one.
Okay, I figured
I know I read it, but it doesn't stand out for me.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. One is The Beekeeper's Due by Jimmy Stamp and Deborah Santos, and Scott Snyder presents Tales from the Cloakroom.
Yep, that was really good too.
Okay, and then and this was in here a few times. Silent All These Years by Margaret Atwood and David Mack and Tori Amos, Little Earthquakes.
That's the one I haven't.
Yeah, and I didn't even know this was a thing. So at first I'm like, you mean the album? But I guess apparently there was a graphic adaptation of it, and this is one of the stories from it. But that graphic adaptation,
it's recent too, and it's in. Yeah, it's like a small print, but very thick with a lot of different people contributing to it. Tori Amos has been I somehow tied to Neil Gaiman and comicdom for a long time.
Oh,
and
a
even
long
had
time.
A book. Her first book that came out was just inspired by songs, and it's an odd-shaped book that you can find. But I think it came out early 2000s or 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, of this one. So it got reprinted?
No, of her first book.
Oh, the other
Little
one.
Earthquakes is an album. Yeah. Little Earthquakes is an album from the 90s, and Silent All These Years is like just one of my favorite Tori Amos songs. So I'm curious to go through it, especially Margaret Atwood contributing.
Yeah.
But she's always had like comic ties, and she's even name dropped Gaiman in songs, and he's dropped her. I think he has said that Delirium was inspired by Tori.
I vaguely remember that as well. That she's or Delirium is based on Tori Amos. So
since we are here,
but there's a couple of Tori Amos Little Earthquake nominations in here.
Yeah.
Since we are in this page now, in this part of the page, I wanted to talk about best single issue or one shot.
Yes.
The Batman One Bad Day Riddler by Tom King and Mitch Gerards. I think I think that one's gonna win.
I want that one
Uh,
to win
yeah,
really badly because it's so good.
but I did read also the Mary Jane Black Cat Beyond by Jed
Mm.
McKay and C.F. Villa, who are now doing the Avengers. That team is now doing the Avengers book. So you could tell probably Marvel
Yeah, I
saw
did
that
not
and they're like,
expect
oh,
that book.
it's really good. Like it's a really fun, good story about Mary Jane and Black Cat kind of dealing with their stuff. It was so good that they give them another ongoing later on too. And there's another Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood, but this was number 3.
Number 3, yeah.
I haven't read the Star Trek 400. Maybe Kyle would have. Uh, but I like that for the I like
Yeah,
for
I'm
some of these
curious.
is they give you the editor, I guess, when it's kind of like an anthology, which is
Anthology,
interesting.
yeah.
But go
Yeah,
Heather Anthos, good for her. And A Vicious Circle
she's
by
awesome.
Mattson Tomlin and Lee Bermejo. Mattson Tomlin wrote the Batman Imposter, and also he's one of the writers on the Batman movie. And then
Oh,
Lee Bermejo, Comic Legends. So this is their own creator-owned through Boom. It was a really nice prestige-sized magazine book. So really, really good stuff. Uh, Also, just real quick, the continuing series we have Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil, Department of Truth by Tinian, Philadelphia, The Nice House on the Lake. So Tinian has 2 in that one. The Nightwing by Tom Taylor, and then She-Hulk by Rainbow Rowell. So
yeah.
this is a tough
Which
category, I think.
and
Yeah,
I need to read that She-Hulk. I've heard amazing things about the Nightwing series from you guys and others, but
Yeah.
yeah. I think the biggest talk has been Nightwing, just from Daniel's love of Tom Taylor's run.
well,
Yeah.
all right. So I have a really dumb question about the Eisners. Are these fan nominations? Like, how do nominations make it in there? Is it like the what's the
They
sci-fi
are
one?
industry people like other
Okay.
creators and editors, and then like press.
Okay. All right.
Because
That's
I have looked into it. I've submitted myself as press because of the channel, but it's
of
still
course, yeah, as well you should.
but I have not
You're
gotten
our
a
lead
response.
press agent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but have not gotten a response, so I can't. Can't. So let's go through some of these while Clay gets back. Uh, did you have another category that you wanted to kind of look into? Or chat
Yeah,
about?
I mean, so if we look at, I mean, this is just the next one, but if we look at best limited series,
Mhm.
this is a hard category because so I don't know Animal Castle by Xavier Dorson and Felix Delep, but all the others are. I mean, how the hell do you pick from this list? You have Batman One Bad Day, the whole series,
Yep.
Human Target by Tom King and Greg Smallwood, Miracle Man, the Silver Age, which I just talked about,
Yep.
and then Superman Space Age. I mean, Jesus Christ. Now, I will say I kind of want Superman Space Age to win, but that's just a solid list. I mean,
Yeah. I'm always curious about like the time frame because of like the way comic like the Miracle Man stuff, that's still ongoing, right? I think.
yep, yeah. I mean, it's not even done yet. Like, it's got one more issue
I
that'll
think
probably come out right around the time they have San Diego, right?
yeah.
Is it in June
Uh
or is it July?
July, I think.
Oh, all right. Well, it will definitely be out by then. So,
So like all the other ones, I have seen Animal Castle at my shop, and I did hear a lot of good things about it. So maybe
oh,
we
that's
should
good.
check it out.
All
And
right.
and that's the other thing I like about these lists. Like the Eisners just bring awareness to some of the things that I haven't really looked at. Let's keep going on this list because I think that the next category is also best new series. The Atonement Bell from Red 5. I haven't seen that one, but both of us are reading Love Everlasting by Tom King and Elsa Charretier.
Yeah.
Um,
But okay, but here's my question. Why is that new series and not limited series? Because it's only 12
no, it's
issues,
still
right?
going.
Oh,
Oh,
is it? No, I mean it's still going now, but doesn't it only have like a few, like one more issue left?
uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how. Maybe, well, so maybe it's because it is. Uh, maybe the limited series started after the cutoff. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the rules really. It feels
Okay,
very
I mean,
scattered.
and I could be wrong. Because I usually am about this stuff. So anyway, sorry. Go on.
The Star Trek by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. I think Kyle's reading that, and I love Traveling to Mars.
Which
Josh, when it's collected, you should
okay,
pick it up because
all
you
right.
you like Mark Russell.
I am now a Mark Russell fan. Yes, I
Yeah,
definitely need to read it. So
I think you'll enjoy that one. We have a few categories for young readers,
I
which
don't know any of these. Although I did find it interesting. So you're reading Do a Power Bomb, right?
yes,
I guess I didn't realize that was sort of like a YA book.
I didn't see. I didn't. I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't put it just there. I guess I'll say that it feels kind of heavy for.
Okay.
Well, I mean, a lot of the comics are rated teen anyways.
Sorry,
Um,
can you hear my dogs? They're
yeah, I
howling.
can. It's okay.
All right. Sorry.
Uh,
I
we
don't know what
we
set them off.
we like animals in the podcast.
Okay. But yeah,
Um,
I was kind of curious to see because it says ages 13 to 17.
hmm.
Um,
Yeah, some of these rules are weird. I mean, these categories are weird.
well,
Well, like
you'll
we can
hear me
talk
go
the
off
next one.
on the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk. I mean, first of all, Cryptid Club by Sarah Anderson is hilarious, and you should read it. It's a really Sarah Anderson does the little online kind of cartoons as well,
Oh,
but
okay.
every once in a while, there's a book put together like this. Like last year, I think it was Fangs. It's like a book about vampires, but it's like a really, but this one's about different cryptids, and it's really good.
Nice. Oh, that sounds good.
Um,
Actually, I want to read that.
But you were saying in the Discord, and you can tell us now. You don't think I Hate This Place is it's a humor publication?
I don't. And I mean, maybe there is like it's such black humor that I'm not getting the humor part because I'm kind of an idiot. But I mean, it's a great book. I love it. I've been reading it the whole time, but it's not. I wouldn't. Sorry, I would not first and foremost define it as humor. Like it is horror. It's just straight up horror. And there's even stuff where in the so you got the first 6 issues, which was kind of one story arc, and now we're in the last story arc. And there's like some stuff where we get the background of one character's family that is really dark as shit. I mean, like Preacher vibes. And I don't mean the funny parts of Preacher. I mean the really disturbing parts of Preacher.
I guess it feels like if you were to call like something like X-Files a humor show.
Okay. Yes.
Something like that.
Right. But even
maybe
there
maybe some episodes are funny, but I don't think overall
exactly
the X-Files is supposed to be a funny show.
Well, but like I was saying, even like through the series so far, there hasn't. God, sorry, my dog. Something is set my dog.
I can barely hear it. I mean,
all right, good. Okay,
you hear it a lot more than.
All right. Anyway, good. I can't think of a specific moment that I would even define as humor, right? Except for at the end of each issue, there is typically a little 1-page story that is written and drawn by Kyle Stark. So it's all by him. And it is like what the 2 main characters were doing before this series began.
So it's just that 1 page did it.
It's just a 1-page thing. Those tend to be humor. But I would not take that 1 page and be like, that's the whole comic. Let's slot it into this category. So I don't know. Now, again, maybe other people are reading it and finding a dark humor in it that I'm not getting. I don't think I'm a moron. I kind of feel like I understand when I read stuff, but this could just be going right over my head. So I don't know. All
right. Let's hop down to some of the creator categories. I'm at best writer. So we have Grace Ellis. I don't think I've read any other work. But I mean, we also have Tom King with things like Batman, Killing Time, One Bad Day, Gotham City Year One, which I think you were very big fan of.
Very, very big fan of. Yeah.
Clay, we're going over the best writer stuff now. So some of those creators. Okay. Mark Russell. I mean, like I said, Space Age. I love Traveling to Mars. But Space Age is a book that I think all 3 of us. Did you read the first one, Clay? Have you read that one?
No, I haven't read it yet.
Okay, you should. I think the collection is out now, so maybe the library has it soon, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been putting in
Uh,
requests for new books constantly.
nice.
Now, I'm sorry, you're not done yet. Go on. Sorry.
I was just gonna say. I mean, James Tinian feels like it's on this list every year.
Yeah.
Very well deserved, I think. I don't think I've read a book of his that I didn't. Although this World Tree book, the latest one, is not my favorite, but other than that, I mean, just looking at the list of stuff, very, very prolific and very good. And of course, Chip Zdarsky. Which, how do you leave Batman out of this list?
Yeah, I found the 2 books they had here really strange, but
Yeah, I mean, Daredevil's been great, and Stillwater I also hear really good things about. But Public Domain, Batman, like Zdarsky has some really fun books out as well.
And what's so weird is they had Public Domain listed earlier in a different category, and they don't list it here. My only complaint about this category, and this is, I don't quite know the way to frame this, because every one of these writers is solid, right? Fully deserving of it. But we have 4 men and 1 woman in this category. Like, where are the other really, really great female writers that are not getting?
I think they're in the best writer artist category.
Well, that is true. Yeah.
So,
The next that is true. That is true. But all right,
no, I get what
I'll
you're
stop
saying though.
talking. Yeah.
I get what you're saying though. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you should nominate more people, even if you only pick one, right? Like,
I mean,
don't see why that's...
I would have loved to have had, and I'm totally blanking on her name, but the writer of Guild in here, right? Because that book was fucking great, like so solid, and I'm like, why was it not nominated? So anywhere, but yeah.
So for best writer artist, we have Sarah Anderson, which I talked about, the Cryptid Club, really fun book. Kate Beaton with Ducks.
Love.
Did you read Ducks? Was it you that?
I did not, but I've read other Beaton, and I just adore. Yeah.
I don't know Espe. I don't know who they are.
I don't know Espe either. Yeah.
Junji Ito. Glad to see him on this list. He's a fantastic creator. And Zoe Thorogood. I love Zoe's work.
I need to read that book. I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, and then also Zoe does the art for Rain, which is the Joe Hill adaptation from Image. Yeah. So also very good. Let's see. We have some. Let me just mention the penciler inker team. So Jason Sean Alexander for Philadelphia, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, The Nice House on the Lake, Sean Phillips, of course. I mean,
of course,
I think we're all big Sean Phillips fans.
Although again, weird options here, right?
But yeah. Anyway. Bruno Redondo and Greg Smallwood, 2 of the biggest artists at DC at the moment. So
Greg Smallwood is just becoming one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah,
his style is just so very cool, and it's almost like a Phil Noto light, or a little edgier, because I see him like doing crime stuff. I mean, his Moon Knight run sticks out in my head a lot.
Yeah. I think we have a bunch more categories, but I think those were the bigger ones. I do want to do something else before we get into. Is there any other ones that y'all want to talk about, or any books that you saw on this list that you really enjoyed throughout the year?
Well, I'm curious, after you both talking about Alex Ross doing Fantastic Four covers, if there's even anyone that could compete with him in the cover category, because I'm going to say Jen Bartel's doing some pretty great She-Hulk covers, but those Fantastic Four covers are...
Yeah, and I mean, the Rain covers were really good for Rain, by Zoe Thorogood, and Santa Takeda's Monsters covers are always like,
oh yeah, they're beautiful,
amazing. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know how you pick it. Also, art is very subjective, so like, I don't know how much of this is like a popularity contest too.
Right.
So
I do.
I mean, just the Nightwing. I don't buy Nightwing, but I have noticed their covers more than any other DC book.
100% agree. It's and almost to the point like what good classic covers used to do, which is I see a great Nightwing cover and I'm like, should I pick that up? But then I'm like, fuck, I'm not reading it. Like what? But yeah, they have an appeal to them that make you want to just get them. Yeah, they've been doing great work there.
Yeah.
I do have just like two more quick call outs, if I may.
Sure.
One is I really like, and I know they did this, started doing this, I want to say maybe 10 years ago, that they now include like best academic and scholarly work. And this list is really solid. They have here, they have Bandits, Misfits, and Superheroes, Whiteness and Its Borderlands in American Comics and Graphic Novels by Joseph Benson and Doug Singson. I'm really pleased to see Graphic Medicine on here, edited by Aaron LaCour and Anna Paletti, because this was a subtopic of comic scholarship that began when I went to my first Comic Studies Society conference. Oh God, maybe 5 years ago now. And they were just conceiving of it at the time. So it's really great that not only has the book finally come out, but that it's getting recognized here in the Eisners. A really good book on LGBTQ plus comic studies reader, and then finally Teaching with Comics and Graphic Novels, which I think I almost pre-ordered, but then I didn't. So hopefully Tim Smith isn't hearing me right now say that. And then finally, just for best webcomic, I just want to give a nod to Delilah Dirk by Tony Cliff. I love Delilah Dirk. I love it, love it, love it. I made the Comic Book Club read it as a webcomic not long after we switched to, being independent. So this is now Delilah Dirk, Practical Defense Against Piracy, Tony Cliff's new one. They're all published online. Now, he later packages them as trades that you can buy, but I love his art style. I love the story. I love the characters. So I'm really glad to see it nominated here.
Now on cool. Best publication design, I did talk about Tori Amos's Little Earthquakes because it does look cool. It does look like the album on the cover. But I know Maze Book. I got the first Maze book, and I know that you can take it apart and build the maze from the comic itself.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to figure out how any other design could kind of beat that. But Parker, the Martini edition is Sean Phillips. I mean, there's some great stuff in there.
Yeah. Let me show you. I did find the Maze book because I think it was Tom Mueller tweeting about it. So let's see. I can show you guys. But yeah, that one's cool. I mean, that looks great too. This hardcover.
Yeah, that's amazing. Look at that.
Very cool. I love how it spells the name of the book here by. Oh yeah, here. Oh, you can't see it on there. Anyways, cool. Well, I think we'll stay tuned for sure. Like I said, the Eisners should be happening in San Diego Comic-Con. But this definitely gives us a bunch of options of things to read because these books are so not old, but like they've already happened. A lot of these things should be available in your public library, Hoopla, or at your shop if you want to purchase it. I might get that Maze book.
Yeah.
So very cool. All right, before we finalize the show, I wanted to show the guys something.
All right.
To get their reaction to it. This week we saw the announcement for the new Mortal Kombat game that's going to come out. So I was thinking, I mean, you guys were around in the 90s, as I guess so was I, but I wanted
we were around. I was in college, man.
I was absolutely in college.
So I was looking on YouTube to find what a commercial would look like for Mortal Kombat back then for the first one.
Oh, good. These are good.
Oh man, this is
so I want to show, and then I want you guys to see the trailer for the new one.
Okay.
And just kind of talk about the differences. So this is a 2-minute commercial TV spot for the Mortal Kombat, the original game.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
You need the sound to get the full effect.
This is one I played in the arcade a lot.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's
The
the most
90s were a different
90s.
time. We played outside. It was weird.
Yeah. We went outside to get our games to play inside.
Camped out for movie tickets and stood in line for video games. How could the Game Boy version even?
Yeah, I know, right?
I love the filter, that yellow orange filter that everything has.
What's weird though is like nowadays, if it was advertising it, it would be just showing fatality left and right.
Exactly. Is that guy supposed to be dancing? What's happening?
Yeah.
That's like when you beat the game because all the
Oh.
souls are coming out.
Spoiler.
Might.
Good Lord, how is this?
This is a 2-minute ad, so I don't know where this would have aired.
Wow.
Pretty good music too.
Yeah, you know, I miss a time where just a whole song could just be game.
This commercial would have been before the movie's Techno Syndrome song that we now know from.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Right, because that was in '94.
I would have
So,
bought that for the home
Before we watch the other one, what was the buzz around a game like Mortal Kombat?
Oh, it was okay. Hang on.
It was hyper realistic.
It was hyper realistic. So the buzz was if you were the primary target audience, you loved it. And if you were older than the primary target audience, it was bad for you. So there was I mean, am I wrong, Clay? There was a lot of controversy.
There was controversy because mainly the violence in it. So people focused on that.
Clay frozen?
And we're coming out of the 80s and the PMRC putting labels on albums. We lost Daniel.
Yeah, I know. All right. So that's not just me then. Okay.
Yeah. And so so you had people wanting to put ratings on things, and video games hadn't really become mainstream like they were now, you know? And so at the time it was like, you're going to see blood and guts in a game, and you're going to see spines ripped out. And so it was just the shock value of that appealed to the 90s sensibility.
Yeah.
If you look back then, it was all just fucking hype from these talk show hosts. 90s had talk shows for fucking days, and they love to talk about the violence in video games, and even today, because they're like, and yet at this point, we hadn't had the school shootings that had started post Columbine. We had school shootings, but not on the level that we do now.
So it was, and I'm trying to look. Oh, okay, it was not. I wondered if Mortal Kombat is what led to the ESRB and the ratings being formed, but it was apparently Night Trap, which makes sense.
Oh, the Dana Plato one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That was a live-action Sega CD game that I don't know anyone who played it, but I think you can walk through it on YouTube.
It was the penultimate. Nobody I've ever met has played the game. Everybody knew of it. Yeah. Right? So
now of like adult games that came out at the time, did you ever get a hold of any of those? Because I got a hold of Custer's Last Stand game.
Oh God, that one? Was that Atari?
It was an Atari, but it had been somehow had been ported to a Commodore 64. Because I somehow was playing it on a computer, but it was I mean it was what was Atari? 8-bit?
Oh, it would have. God, is it? I guess so. Yeah, 8-bit.
Yeah, and so the characters would fill your screen and do terrible things to Indian women. And
oh God.
And so that was like one of the ones I got a hold of. But most of the games that are like that, hypersexual, hyper violent, are terrible games.
Right.
Rarely can you find. I think probably the most violent, famous game is now GTA 5.
Not Postal or Postal 2?
Yeah, I forget about those, but I guess because GTA 5 still has that longevity.
Right. And it's still
it was
going,
another
basically.
that people pointed out for the violence because you got points for going around. And I think that one got a lot of social commentary about violence against women and police.
Yes, but quintessentially American. When did the public finally learn about GTA 5? It's when the hot coffee mod hit, right? So we are, in a lot of ways, we're typically desensitized to violence. It's sex that tends to set off most, right? Which is why it kind of makes sense. We didn't get the video game rating system because of Mortal Kombat's violence. We got it because of Night Trap.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's
someone always trying to push the limits, but it's never on creativity. It's just on sex and violence.
Right. Oh man, did we like completely lose Danny?
Are you back? It looks like he's working from a different camera.
Oh, I don't see him at all.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I see him standing by, but not.
Is he in the green room?
Yeah. There he goes. Okay. There I see his kid. Okay.
Hey, there he is.
I don't know what happened. My computer just. I think the FCC just wanted to.
They said no more Mortal Kombat commercials.
Right. They're like, oh my god, someone's playing that Mortal Kombat commercial again. We can't have it.
Yeah.
I do admit though, the Mortal Kombat music does get me when I hear that da 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 da. You know, like I always want to yell Mortal Kombat.
Yes, for sure. Let me pull up the other one I wanted to show you guys, and then we'll close out the show. I hope you guys had a great conversation about the 90s and what was happening. I'll go back and listen to it later.
Yes. We got very fundamental about what upsets Americans. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
What doesn't upset Americans?
Yeah, the culture wars have been going on for decades. It's not a new thing. It's to distract you from the way they're raping and pillaging.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had to switch camera too. I don't know. My other camera is not working at the time. So.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
All kinds of. But I wanted to show you guys what the Mortal Kombat game looks like now.
Yeah.
So
I love the history of Mortal Kombat. There are some great videos online. I mean, I don't want to just jump into it, but you can find people who've done histories of like the Johnny Cage character was supposed to be, how this game was developed for Jean-Claude Van Damme, but then he opted out. So they just brought in all these other characters, and it's just really neat. The mythology to it is cool.
Well, and I was lucky enough at the Dallas Comic Show, I met Francois Petit, who played Sub-Zero in the movie, in the 95 movie.
Yeah.
In the first movie or the remake from a few years ago?
In the first movie from 95.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, very cool. He was so like excited to meet people that love the movie, because that's really his only credit as far as an actor. He's really like a stunt performer more. So yeah, very cool. Oh, maybe I can switch cameras now. Hold on, let me do that before I. Seamless. There we go.
Very seamless.
I hope this commercial is just the exact same version.
That's kind of what I was hoping too.
Running.
So yeah, that's the part that really got me about it. I was like, how they wanted to make it seem like you had to go or you were gonna miss out. So that's very interesting. But let's watch. You guys can watch this one.
90s was great at hype, just hyping stuff up.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It is time. Time to wake up to a new reality. To a blank canvas that I have painted in with warmth and peace. In my new era, the choice is yours. Whether to live in quiet serenity or bloody strife.
Damn.
To dwell
looks too
in joyous prosperity.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a fighting game.
Or bitter
Right.
rivalry. You can face each other as sworn enemies, or united as brothers.
Oh wow.
But a storm is brewing. And soon you will discover that even in this new era, one constant remains. There is always something worth fighting for.
Oh my god!
Yeah!
Holy crap!
Shit! Oh!
You have chosen to defy peace.
Oh my god!
Then you have chosen war with a god.
Do it! Oh, shit!
Oh my
I
god!
need this in my life.
Wow.
Holy shit, that was awesome.
That's a
Wow.
pretty good sound
Holy
design
shit.
too.
Holy crap!
That's a fighting game. And just look, it's like built this great story around it. It's got these incredible characters you recognize, and then just the detail. That was like Blizzard level intro.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's a good point.
yeah. It looks. I mean, I know these are just the CGI renderings or whatever for the game, the cinematics.
Yeah, I want to see real gameplay.
Man, but this looks cool. The other thing is they've announced a list of like speculative characters for DLC that include like Homelander. Like they can really bring in anybody. I mean,
Because it's a WB game, right?
yeah.
So,
In previous versions, you've had RoboCop, the Joker, Spawn.
didn't you have like Judge Dredd at one point?
I think Judge Dredd is one of the rumored ones for this
Really?
Whoa.
No.
That'd be
Shit,
cool.
I want to play that.
Carl
What
Urban,
does a Judge Dredd fatality look like?
incendiary
shoot you.
device. No, like in the movie when Dredd switches to the incendiary bullet and it goes like in the dude's mouth and it just
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
like yeah.
Oh shit! They better
So-
do that and a new one. Like you got it. Oh shit! I want to just play as Judge Dredd.
That was just wonderful.
Isn't that just wonderful?
Fatalities. When it switched to the fatalities, I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is fucking real."
That was the other thing when I was watching this the first time. Like, I didn't know all that stuff's coming, and there's a lot of like backstory from the last 12 games or whatever. This is
Yeah.
technically Mortal Kombat 12, but yeah, I mean, the way it switches right when you says you've chosen to not be peaceful or whatever, and then immediately clicks on tele. Can you imagine watching this stuff in the 90s? Like, people would have lost their shit.
I know.
So-
I mean, I still lose my mind seeing a lot of the cinematic intros for games. It's just where we've come from. Like, it's just unbelievable. But a game can still look beautiful but be crap, because there's a lot of beautiful games made that just aren't worth, like Cyberpunk.
Well,
but
that-
this
I
is
think
at the base level, it's just a fighting game, and that's all it has to be, and it's fun.
Yeah, they definitely what do you call it? They fixed a lot of Cyberpunk afterwards. I think that one just came out before it was fully baked.
Yeah.
Uh,
I still need to jump back into it. But I'm kind of excited to get into it now that I know that it's been fixed or mostly fixed. So
that it'll work on your machine, whatever you're running.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's the main thing.
I just play base games on my computer now. It's all PlayStation. Just
nice.
And people are going insane for this new Zelda game too. Like I've seen them online. Just
Yeah.
well, it made me pick up my Switch and play Zelda for the first time. I had Breath of the Wild, and I've never played a Zelda game, so I'm starting with that one.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
That's a good place to start, I've heard.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that was it. I just wanted to see the difference now between what is this, like 30 years maybe of Mortal Kombat.
Oh, dude!
Right.
I can't believe this game has lasted this long.
I know,
This
right?
really was a weird game that was going to be created for Jean-Claude Van Damme with actors doing the movements and stuff.
Yeah.
and
it
then
was
blew up into a movie and blew up.
it was a Street Fighter ripoff, and
Yeah.
its one thing was it had the
The
full motion
fatalities.
video,
Oh,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
was it, right? So,
Yeah, I mean Street Fighter's still going tough too. Like they just released a new one this year as well. So,
yep.
the,
I mean,
which
And I
did
mean,
they ever get sued for stealing the character from Big Trouble in Little China?
I know Raiden looks like that, but it's weird because every time I think of Raiden, I think of Christopher Lambert, who played him in the movie, and
Yeah.
not the real Asian character.
Yeah,
that he is
yeah,
in the game.
yeah. So this in this version, it's now Liu Kang who has become a god.
Okay, yeah.
Raiden's not around. Well, I don't know if
God.
Raiden's around. Yeah, like I said, a lot has happened in the last 30 years of Mortal Kombat.
I wish though that they would be able to do, like, I love the first movie because I love the campiness, I love the music.
Yeah.
The Legacy one, the film came out, like the trailer for it was incredible. The first 15-20 minutes, incredible, and the rest of it was just boring.
The 2021 or whatever the latest
Yeah,
movie.
the latest one that came out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, I think they're making more, so maybe they can course correct.
Yeah. How are the animated films?
I like them. They're definitely very violent. So, and I think most of them are on HBO Max, so you should be able to.
Oh shit! Okay, I'll check it out.
Those follow their own story, so like you could definitely start with. I think it's Scorpion's Revenge, and then I don't remember what the second one's called, and then there's 3 of them.
I know you didn't say this, but it says something about my age that whatever you just said that first animated film was, my brain heard as Porky's Revenge. And I was like, Porky's 2 is animated with
Right.
Mortal Kombat? So, anyway, ignore me. I'm an old man.
Well, let's get some recommendations to
boy.
close out the show. Since we were in the topic of the Eisners and Josh brought up some academics. I want to recommend the latest episode of the I Read Comic Books podcast, episode 373.
Oh.
It's called Intention to Arouse. It features Amy Wright, and they talk about. Amy Wright is the chairperson on the Graphic Novels and Comics Roundtable Committee, and they're fighting to and they're helping with those books that are being challenged.
Awesome.
At libraries. So the episode's all about that. So it's really interesting, very good stuff. I'll drop a link in the description of this video. So I recommend that. So Clay, I see you have one, and then Josh, I know you'll have a few things too.
I'll just pick one.
Just pick one of the sales.
Yeah.
I love and miss quarter sales. I know that nearly every comic shop would have like a clearance bin of stuff, but I wasn't able to like decorate my comics or do my bookshelf the way I wanted to without buying quarter books. Zeus has it once a year, and so I just recommend, like, sometimes you can pick up comics you already own for quarter and tear them to shreds and make an art project. So just quarter sales are freaking great. Zeus Comics in Dallas has one once a year, and they unload a lot of the stuff that they bought that year that they bought too much of. So it's sometimes a good way to catch up on a series if you even saw books that you wanted to read.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my recommendation. I mean, I miss back in the day, Lone Star Comics was the franchise here in DFW, and they would have a warehouse sale. But they would stamp all their books on the inside to ruin them and sell them for a quarter. I think I still have some that still have the stamp in them. There's some old
That's just rude. Come on. If you're going to sell them for 25 cents, make it a true deal. Don't.
Yeah. I think the flagship half price used to do on Wednesdays 50-cent books when they had like a overstock in comics. That's how I filled out a lot of my collection too. But if you're gonna rip up your books, maybe just run them through the Key Collector app or something before you tear it to pieces. You might have some buried treasure there.
That's true. You might have something in there, but like I find a lot of just the same things, and that's why Chris Botchell has been doing art for comics since the 90s, so it's easy to find some of his stuff in there, and Scotty Young's stuff when he did Human Torch.
And no, your X-Men #1 is not worth a lot of money, and your Death of Superman polybagged is not worth a lot of money. So go to
It's
town.
overpriced at a quarter.
Yeah,
Right, yeah. They're buried in that landfill with all those Atari ET cartridges.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and now Funko Pops.
and now Funko Pops, yeah.
Imagine
All right,
aliens come to Earth and the only thing they find is our destroyed entertainment because we mass produced it.
And ironically, they look exactly like ET.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe they'll find that Batgirl movie.
yeah,
Oh,
right.
shit.
Jesus Christ.
How bad is it when you have a guy who wins an Oscar and he has his next movie pulled?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you could have said Oscar winning Brendan Fraser in Batgirl.
Yep.
Now you say Batgirl benched.
All right, Josh, what do you got?
All right, I'm going to share my screen. Can you guys
fill us in because Humble Bundle's been going wild.
Jesus, there are so many bundles right now. So I'm going with the one that's going to expire the soonest. You have 7 days left. There is a really good Vault Comics bundle on here. For $18, you get Vagrant Queen, this Vampire the Masquerade book, the Autumnal, the complete series, the last book you'll ever read, which I want it basically just for this.
That is the one you want.
Yeah, Human Remains, and that's also the complete series. Human Remains, I Walk with Monsters, Heathen, the first series of Money Shot.
Heathen is my favorite. It's my favorite Vault book they've ever.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's high praise. All right, awesome. Barbaric, Shadow Service, Resonant, Wasted Space, Fearscape, The Plot, Sarah and the Royal Stars, Hollow Heart, Songs of the Dead, Cult Classic looks good too, Creature Feature, and then Engine Ward. I mean, just a solid bundle.
That's a lot.
Yeah, $18, can't go wrong. They're all PDFs. And let me check something really quick.
Oh, I might get this book because I don't have a lot of those. I have some, but not all of those.
All right. There's only 5 days left on this. So I'm going to go ahead and do a second one and then I'll stop. This one is nuts. All right. I've been wanting to get into BattleTech and the lore is a bit overwhelming. This is a bundle of novels. For $18, you get 60 novels for $18. It's crazy. I already bought this one. If I scroll, it just goes on and on. All of these novels, it's incredible.
Any authors that pop off the top of your head?
I mean, you've got like Stackpole is a classic BattleTech author. I like his stuff. Hang on, let me go up to the top. William H. Keith, I haven't read a lot of his stuff, but there's some in here. But what's also great about this is it has some key trilogies. So like the Twilight of the Clans is actually like 6 novels. Krinsky trilogy is a classic. The Warrior trilogy is a classic. So just it's not even like just the obscure stuff. It's like key BattleTech books are in here as well. $18 you'll be reading for years and years and years. So go check that one out as well.
Nice. Can you go? Sorry, can you bring it back? I wanted to see what's in the Leading Ladies bundle.
That was the one I was going to save to next week, but let's go ahead. And
okay.
No, it's fine. God, the Leading Ladies bundle is incredible. So this one just dropped yesterday, I think. So it's like 19 days. It's Image. I mean, again, if you've never read Saga, this will get you caught up through the last trade. It goes all the way through volume 10.
Wow.
I'm almost ready to buy it because I have volumes 1 through 9. I don't have 10. I'm like, for $20, God, that almost gets me caught up.
Paper Girls is good.
Paper Girls, Monstrous, Bitch Planet. I don't know Lady Mechanica, but that's here. I don't know Wayward either, but that's
the art on Lady Mechanica is really what is.
Is it good? All right.
Yeah.
Wayward is a Jim Zub book, and Jim Zub.
I love Jim Zub.
He's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow, I didn't even see that. I love Jim Zub.
Blue Monday.
Fair Lady, Blue Monday. Yeah, so it's all like comics with female heroines. Afar, 86 volts. I mean, all these are good.
Big Girls is awesome.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say you read. I remember you read that one, Clay.
Yeah, that's a really cool one where women fight kaiju. They get really big and fight kaiju.
Is that Big Girls? Okay.
Yeah.
Duh, that makes sense. I mean, there doesn't seem to be a bad book in this, but it is worth it if you're like, hey, I've heard Saga's good. Volume 1 all the way up through 10. I mean, you could pick this up and then go buy the last few issues and then read it month to month, which is kind of what I did when I started reading it month to month. Was I got through volume 9 in a previous bundle and read them all, and then they were on their hiatus, and when they came back, I was caught up. I could just jump right in. So
and these are all PDFs. So like if
all
your
PDFs.
company ever fucks it up like Amazon, you have a PDF and you can just read it anytime.
You actually get them as PDF, CBZ, and EPUB.
I don't know what the other. I don't know what EPUB.
EPUB is an ebook format. CBZ is the comic format.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So anyway, tons of good bundles right now.
Very nice. Well, I think we've had a great show.
Absolutely.
It's time to say goodbye. Bye-bye, Nanawe.
I miss it.
Oh, love it.
So yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. To all the people that showed up, Leonard Kim. Do I still have the comments up? Yeah. My buddy Chewy, Jesus Vicente, Shelby, always stopping by to say hi. We appreciate you guys. For anybody watching afterwards, thanks for watching. Make sure to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell. We got a whole bunch of other stuff on the channel.
Give us your Eisner thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know what you like so we can read it. And maybe talk about it later in the show. So, all right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.
The most important thing in life will always be the people in this room. Right here. Right now. Salute, mi familia. Salute.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Peter loves you.
Oh, yeah. Clay?
Hail, Bebo.
Josh?
Simon Center, get the fuck out.
Yes!